Hello, LMFAO here. I'm back yet again with another video to share my thoughts on things you didn't ask about. So come on, sit down, relax as I yap about TikTok, fandom spaces, and the decline of media literacy. This isn't so much of an essay instead of my semi-structured rant about a topic I'm strangely passionate about. If you've been around any fandom space, you see the term media literacy get thrown around a lot, like a lot. And if you're anything like me, you never learned what that word means in any of your classes, and learned it from various 3-hour-long video essays instead. Meaning to say, what exactly does it mean? And how does it impact being in a fandom, consuming content, and interacting with media in general? How the hell could something like that decline? According to Wikipedia, media literacy is an expanded conceptualization of literacy that includes the ability to access and analyze media images, as well as create, reflect, and take action using the power of information and communication to make a difference in the world. Which is a very fancy way of saying that you can analyze or break down content you consume, which is just being critical of what you read, watch, hear, etc. With the rise of short-form content such as TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, it's obvious to see how easy it can be to lose this ability to criticize the media you consume. I mean, by the time I realize something on TikTok is absolute baloney, the video is already done, and there are around 20 more videos on that same sound that regurgitate the same thing. It's an endless loop of brain rot. Navigating the near dystopian world of endless consumption seems kinda bleak, especially in regards to fandoms, who have some of the worst cases I've ever seen on a lack of any literacy in general. I was a part of the mouthwashing fandom in its peak, and I used TikTok, and I saw firsthand how narrow-minded some people could be about a psychological horror game that leads a lot up to interpretation. There was so much friction, so much infighting between people. And hey, infighting is good sometimes. Having constructive conversations about media you enjoy with someone who has a differing opinion than you is healthy. But there is a trend on TikTok especially where these conversations can often devolve into assumptions and name-calling, and we all blame each other. But resoundingly, I saw one culprit being blamed: unsupervised kids using the app. My generation and generations before me blame it on the endless sea of children online. Because let's face it, a lot of younger fandoms and apps like TikTok especially are populated by a lot of children, unmonitored and roaming in the wild web. Their lack of experience and narrowed worldviews are the reason fandoms are in the state they are now, right? Kind of, sorta. I mean, I'm not gonna exclude them from the brain rot equation, but there are some other variables to it other than just the children. Okay, let me level with you here. Fandoms have always been like this. This decline or death of media literacy isn't a new thing, especially in fandom spaces. For decades, forums and fan sites online have perpetuated straight up incorrect information about an aspect or multiple aspects of something. Negative headcanons or misinterpretations could spread like wildfire, especially about a character the fandom at large disliked. Coming from a Tumblr user who knows about the history of that, I have an intimate knowledge of what this lack of media literacy can do in a fandom. Especially if you're in the Homestuck fandom. I'm just saying, this bajillion word webcomic that also leaves a lot up to interpretation. Oh god, you know how bad it can get in the fandom trenches with that. Remember Vriska Discourse? People can absolutely duke it out over their faves, myself included. All of this to say, this isn't a new thing. Far from it. The lack of critical thinking when it comes to media consumption isn't something that sprouted because of TikTok or Instagram or whatever the hell kids mainly use nowadays. It's just gotten worse. Specific rhetoric against or for things can easily get passed on, then echoed without a second thought. This is certainly evident in franchises that are astoundingly popular, come from a platform mainly used by children, or have an infamous fandom. You can make generalizations and people will just believe you, in most cases rather than some. But why? Why do fandoms in specific have a trend of a lack of media literacy? It's super easy, that's why. For one, why think for yourself or have opinions when you could just let others form it for you? We humans are very much so easy street oriented. Sometimes taking that route seems natural, doesn't it? Very complex media could easily get boiled down into a few points. Those points can often be generalized, and in my opinion, those assumptions can lead to the death of genuine discussion. 2, it's passion. Fandom dwellers can get very vocal and emotional about the media they enjoy or dislike, which is fine when it doesn't lead to a spreading of misinformation about source material. And genuine discussions do happen, but there's a scarily common event of people being harassed off of platforms for disagreements about a story or interpretation of a certain character. This history of dogpiling makes the fear of speaking out greater, which leads to more assumptions and more misinformation getting spread in a fandom. I'm sure if you're on any kind of fandom talk, you've seen firsthand these assumptions about characters, authors, and sometimes whole groups of people. It's much easier to go with the crowd than go against them. Hell, I've seen people get ragged on for enjoying a character who's objectively a bad person. It makes you wonder where the line is going to be crossed when it comes to reality and fiction. So all of that is kind of depressing, huh? In my opinion, fandoms can and have been thriving on platforms like TikTok. Not everyone is so narrow-minded that they stick with the crowd. This can just be a very loud minority and unfortunately can also turn into a majority over time. Fandoms have always been a place for people to come together and express themselves and meet new people, which will always lead to conflict. It's like any other aspect of life. You'll meet people you disagree or agree with. It's simply a matter of how you handle the inevitable butting of heads. For specific things like TikTok, if we don't take the time to actively educate each other, this media literacy decline can get worse. Which is why I'm so happy to see anytime someone's having a genuine discussion on my For You page about problematic faves or assumptions made about their favorite media. Even better when they criticize the media they enjoy. I guess all I want to say is enjoy what you want. Make sure to think for yourself, understand why you think that way, and try to educate others, not tear them down. God knows we need it now more than ever. So go out there, create, enjoy yourself, and be the strangelings you yearn to be. Thanks for listening to my mad ramblings. You can check me out in my art blog. I'm on my Tumblr. I'm way more active there. I don't know how many more videos I'll be doing on YouTube, but I think they're fun, so I'll probably do more. You can also follow me on TikTok, on Instagram. I do not post that much on Instagram. Don't like Instagram that much. Next video is probably going to be something more anime focused. I want to kind of dabble in reviews because I like yapping about stuff and pretending I know things. Anyways, bye!